So I'm going to show you how to make a Google site. You can use Google Sites to make a class website or to anything that you would need to just put a bunch of resources together to share with other people. So to do that, you have to be in the Google Chrome browser. You can go to the waffle, and this is actually the icon, but when you pull it up, it'll show the newer icon. So this is kind of the old sites, but they just have not changed that just yet. When you get there, you will see all of these templates to choose from, and then the template gallery has more. So if you wanted to just use the class template, you could, or you can create your own. And then you'll also see any other sites that you have on here. So I'm going to actually just go ahead and press blank to create a new one. And the first thing you will see is your page title. And you can click on that and you can put whatever title you want your site to be about. So you can say Miss Badlands class website. And then you need to come over here as well, and this would be the name of your website. So Miss Badlands class website. And if you click there, that will show up as well. So now what you can do is you can choose what theme you would like to have your website look like. So you can go with these darker colors, or this style, or this one. This one really has a lot of different backgrounds. This one, or this one as well. Just for today, I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to actually change the font style by doing this. So once you choose your theme, you have 3 fonts to choose from, and they're usually different based on whatever theme you choose. So if I go here and let's say I want the purple, that's fine, that doesn't matter. I have different fonts, so my font size, my font might look like that. You can also go here to change the color if you don't like the color options they have, and then that would change that. Okay, so that's just for themes. Pick whatever theme you want. You can also change the background image if you do not like it. So you go to change image. You can either go to select image, and some options will show up for you, or you can go to Google search and type in, maybe you want a pink header. That's an option. Or you can go to upload and upload any kind of background that you might have. So that's just a random one that I have. And obviously you wouldn't want to look like that because it doesn't show everything. So make sure you know the right size. Just for the time being, I am going to pick this one. Okay. Now, if you see this over here, it looks like it's working. This is adjust for readability. So it changed the color of it specifically for it to be easier to be read. However, if you don't feel like you need that and it looks fine the way it is, you can turn that off and you can still read it just fine. You can also come to insert, and there are 4 different options that you can add to your site. You can add text, you can add images, you can add an embedded link, and you can also add things from Drive. So if I wanted to add text, I might add maybe a welcoming message. So welcome to our class website. And if you come over here, you can bold the text, you can center it, you can decide if you want it to be title size, heading size, whatever works best for you. And then over here, you'll see 3 options. You can delete this section if you no longer want it. You can duplicate it, or you can also change the color. So let's say you really like the way this color looks. That would change your font color, but that would also allow you to change. You can also put a background again with your text. So let's say I like that one. That would be my background. If I want to get rid of this one, all I have to do is click on it, and press delete, and it's gone. Okay. For images, you can upload from your computer. Let's say I really like this image. Boom. Or you can find some off of the internet. So let's say I want Google Docs. I want the icon for Google Docs. Or let's say I really like this one. I press insert, boom. I just added my image. I can also move it. So let's say I want these right next to each other. I can, and I can resize it as well by doing this. Make it as large as you want. If you want this one to be moved down and you want this one to take up the whole space, you have the right to do that. It goes all the way to here. It does not go all the way out. That's the farthest it can go. If you would like to make the image show everything, there you go. Now, does it have to be that size to show everything? No. You can go back to the size that it was. You see these options right here. This allows you to zoom in and zoom out. This allows you to show the whole image. This allows you to link something to the image. If I just, boom, then I just linked a YouTube video to that image. You can also go right here and replace the image if you no longer like this one, or add a caption. So I might say, click on the link to watch the video. And so now there's a caption for my visual. If I wanted to move that one back, boom, I can. If I wanted to reduce it to match that size, I can. But if I click this, it is going to go back to its original size. So that's the only thing. This allows you to choose how you want your layout to look. Let's say you want an image and some text, or two images next to each other in text, three larger images, three images and text underneath, two images and text side to side, or four images and text right underneath. This is the one I typically go for, just because you can put a lot in a small space. And once again, you click on that plus sign, upload, or select image. Say that's my image. Boom. I can fix the size by doing that. And let's say I want a link to that image. I could add a button. So these buttons, you can either go to another page on your site, or you can go to a link anywhere on the internet. So let's say I want to go to Epic. Now, I might link Epic below, put it right underneath my image. And so when they see that image, they know they can click on that and go to Epic. Now, you can also add a table of contents, images, as many images as you want, pretty sure. You just click on them and you choose what you want in there, and it'll just keep asking you if you want more. I don't know if there is a limit. There might be maybe up to 20 or something like that, but it rotates them. It's like a carousel, so it rotates the images as you're on the site. You can also add dividers if you want your site to look a little bit fancier and you want to divide certain items. Let's say I don't want that and that right back to back. You could also put a placeholder cloud search. So all sites have this now to where you can search. You can add YouTube videos. So instead of just adding a link, I could actually put the video. So if I go right here, the best thing to do is actually go on YouTube and put the link as I did and just paste it in there, because it will take you right to the video. And so now, instead of them having to leave the site, they can play right from the Google site. Now, you do have the option to also do YouTube and type something that you're looking for. Let's say I want a multiplication song. You can do that. And let's say I like this one. And so you can do that as well. But I would say if you want something specific, you might want to just use a link. Also, I would highly recommend you watch the videos before you put them into your site, just to make sure they are what you want. Calendar is Google Calendar. So if you have a class Google Calendar, and you want your kids to be updated on what's going on in your families, you can put that in there. You can put a map. You can put any Google Docs that you have by clicking, and you will be able to select. You'll see the most recent ones will show up at the top. So let's say I really want everyone to see this one. And I can also resize it. So let's say I don't want it to take up the whole space. I can make it that large, and you can still see what the doc looks like without taking so much space. You can add a Google Slides presentation by clicking, let's say I want this one, read aloud. And the good thing is they will be able to view your presentation. Now, if you would like them to actually access it and make a copy, you could put a button below and they will be able to click on it and access it from there. Otherwise, if you just want them to be able to view the slides, you would do it that way. You can insert Google Sheets. Let's say I want that one, and I'll insert it. Boom. Let's say you want a Google form. This is really great if you want to have like a check-in form for your students to see how they're doing. And they are actually able to fill that out from your Google site. They don't have to leave the site to go to it. So it's just like that. And you can, once again, resize it. So if you want to take the whole space, you can. You can also insert charts. Any charts that you have, they're usually going to come from Google Sheets. Okay, and then if you come up here, you will see pages. So some sites only have one page, and that's perfectly fine because maybe you can fit everything onto one page, and there's no problems with that. But some sites have multiple pages, and you do that by going down here and press new page, and you can name it whatever you want. So let's say I want this page to be called Tools. So this page is now called Tools. And the cool thing about it is you can change the image. So let's say you don't want that image anymore as your header, you might want that one instead. Boom. That's your tools. Now you can also add subpages. So these, if you go hover over it, and you'll see these three dots. You can either duplicate the page if you really like the layout of it, or you can add a subpage. So let's say I want map tools on one page, and I want reading tools on another page. There you go. And once again, I can change that background to fit whatever it is that I'm talking about here. So let's say, well, this is reading, this has a book. Boom. Okay, so you can change that as you wish. And all these features work here as well. So you want to add sites, that's great. Like if you want to add images, that's fine. Buttons, all of that works for your subpages as well. Now, if you say, all right, I really like my tools page, and I think that is the most important page, you can come to these three dots and make it your home page. And so instead of your home page being your main page, your tools would be your first page. And you could, let's say you change your mind. You're like, no, I don't want that anymore. You come right up here and it will undo it. And so it's right back to normal. And let's say you don't want this to be named home. You can click over it and you can just say maybe hello, whatever you want it to be named. But now it says hello instead of home. Okay, so whatever you say it is how it will show up. Now, there are a couple of other features. If you come over here, this is to undo. This is to redo. So if you didn't like that it said home, and you're like, no, I kind of do like it as hello, you can press redo. You can also preview your site before you publish it, and it will allow you to see everything that you've done and click through it. So I can see all the stuff that is on there. It'll show you what it looks like on a cell phone. It'll show you the opposite way, and then it'll show you on an actual computer or desktop. okay? And you exit out to get off of preview. Now, you can add others. So if you want this to be like a team website and you might want collaborators, you can add their name and press done and they will have access to it. If you come here, you want to make sure this check mark is on so they do have the option to edit, publish, and change certain features as they wish. Okay, settings is also pretty important. You can choose to have your options at the be on the top or on the side. So on the side would look like this. Okay, or if you want to go back and you're like, no, I like the top better, that's what the top looks like. Okay, you can also choose to have the header be clear or white or black in this case. Sometimes I believe it's different colors, but I typically go with transparent just because I like how that looks. You can also have search settings within the site. You could also hide it if you decide you don't want them to be able to search. Over here, you'll see brand images. You can change the logo. There will be a logo that shows up here. There is an icon that you have created in Google, anywhere in Google. Let's say I really want this basketball to be my logo. Then it would show up right there. And so now that's my logo. And let's say I also want this to change. So as you can see, this represents Google Sites, but this is also called a favicon. So if you don't like that, you can change it to something that you've created. Just for this instance, I'm just going to use that basketball again. Now you will not see that show up until you actually publish your site. So that is something to think about. If you decide you don't want that anymore, you can press delete. All right, and then if you come to these three dots right here, you can look at version history. Let's say you really didn't like something you did today, so you want to go back to your website from yesterday, however it was, you can do that. You can also duplicate a site if you really like it and you just want to use that same layout, or let's say you did a website in English and you want to make one in Spanish, you can duplicate a site. You can report a problem, help, and it also will walk you through it. This is where you press publish, and once you press publish, it will be open to whoever you say can view it. So that would be the name of my web address. If I wanted it to just be Miss Bad One, I could shorten it and boom, that would be the name of my web address with Google Sites connected. Now, you can't change it. So if you say anyone at JCPS, that means only people at JCPS will be able to view this. So if you want parents to be able to also view this site, you're going to have to change that. And you can do that by going to right here and changing this to public. So once you make it public, anyone that has the link will be able to view your site, not just anyone at JCPS. So I highly recommend you doing that. Otherwise, if your students aren't logged into their JCPS account, they won't be able to view it anyways. So it kind of defeats its purpose. And that is about the big gist of it. Also, you can change these colors again, just like you could change the text. So if I wanted this to be blue, I could. If I wanted it to be this lighter color or white, or if I wanted it to be an image, I could. So it now looks like that. Or you could completely take that out and decide how you want to do it. But there are a lot of really great things you can do with sites. There are a lot of tools that you can use to make it even better. So I would just highly recommend you working through it to see what is best for you. I'm going to show you how to do a button real quick. So if you type in Google Tools, you can name it whatever you want. And let's say I want to go to drive.google.com, insert. So here's my button, just like I did down there. Okay, and I can move this wherever I want it to go. I could put it underneath that image if I wanted to. I'm going to show you a site that I'm working on right now, just so you can see some of the features. You can obviously change the header, as I was saying earlier. And as you can see, I used the for layout, this one right here, and I put my images and I put buttons for each. So when they click on the buttons, they'll be able to go. I also added a GIF as my header because you are able to do that. And I have a bunch of subpages because I didn't want to make a bunch of different pages. I would rather have subpages within the whole. So if they click on that subpage, it will take them to videos and different resources. And then you can have links and a bunch of different tools. So this is my main page, and I want to be able to link to these individual pages, and so I did that. And then once again, you'll see tools and websites and videos that would help whoever is using this. Okay, another site that I've created is a Bookflix, and this is just the classroom library that we have. I wanted, my kids to be able to see books that they are actually interested in and being able to really look at it prior to heading into the classroom library. So I thought that would be a great way for them to be able to do that. So there's so many things you can do with it. Get creative. They are really fun to make. Um, they do take a little bit of time, but it really depends on what you want it for. If you just want a research project, then it might be a one pager and you just put all the resources on there and you probably get it done within maybe an hour or less. But if you want like a full class website, that might take a little bit more time based on what you want to use it for.